with regards to the second sight long range, which is what we've got here. This is an unbelievable piece of equipment that they have literally built, like I said, from the ground up. Nothing like this really existed before at this range.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called the long range. So yes, it is an RFID scanner that you can sort of set up in lots of different ways to suit your performance, and we'll go into that in a moment. But the fact that this thing can work up to 3.5 meters in distance,
it's crazy,
is unbelievable. Like, we've just been to the restaurant and had some food just before we filmed this evening.
Yeah.
And I did kind of like a tossed out deck for the spectators there. And this trick wouldn't have been possible 5 years ago.
No way, no way. No.
Like, what you can do with regards to a tossed out deck, we can do it here. Wayne, what I want you to do, I want you to flick through like this.
Yep.
So flick through, you can see all the cards, they're all different.
They are.
When you see one that you like the look of, so flick through, see that they're all different.
They are.
When you like one, when you see one that you like, take it out.
Okay, I've got one, yeah.
Take that card out, and now I want you to put it into your top pocket.
Got it.
Okay. Now let's imagine that we're doing a tossed out deck now, and Wayne now tosses those cards to somebody else, and we repeat the process. I can be 3 meters away from Wayne, and I know he's got the jack of clubs in his pocket.
I have. Jack of clubs.
It's the most impossible, and obviously with tossed out deck normally, you've got the Hoy principle going on, which, you know, we don't need to go too deeply into, but if you're using a gimmick deck, first of all, with this deck, which feels great, even though they're sort of, they're not bicycles, they're a bit more plasticky coated, but
mate, it's a deck of cards.
Spectators
They have no idea.
Have no idea. This feels like a normal deck of cards.
Yeah.
They can see that they're all completely different, and double phaser in there. They can feel that they're all see that they're all completely different. Then you can put the elastic band around. Now, I worked this out with Charlie Dent the other day on the phone, that then you can put the pen away in your pocket. I'm using the notifier as well, which is a separate device in addition to the second sight long range. You don't have to have the second sight long range connected to the Unify app all the time, which will provide you with notifications. If you've got the notifier, the two will just connect together. Or if you don't want the notifier, it can actually just use vibration coding when clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. So 1 buzz is clubs, 2 is hearts, and so on. And then long buzzers for 5, etc.
Yeah, you get to learn it. It's
So
nice
Queen would be zzz, 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 and it will just code you with the vibration. I'm aware of the vibration going on, but the fact that Wayne can just flick through, take out 1 card, and when he takes out a card, I know instantly that is the 8 of diamonds. The moment it comes away from the deck. Now, we've got it in medium power mode at the moment. It's not even in high power mode, which is 3 meters away. You can set it up, of course, the long, and the device itself is smaller than a deck of cards.
It is, yeah.
Smaller than a deck of cards. You can set it up on low power mode if you want to. And with lower power mode, you could have it within something like a card case, for example, or under a tabletop. So we were talking about this in the restaurant. Don't just use it as a pick a card, name it.
Yeah, definitely, not just
unless it's a tossed out deck style with 3 revelations and people sitting down.
There is so much more. There is so much more.
The fact that you know the card, you can get a spectator to shuffle the cards, not even look at a card, put it in an envelope, and leave that envelope on a table. Now, straight away, you know, with the short range scanning, you know what that card is in that envelope, even though nobody knows the card.
Imagine interweaving that into a longer routine with a story involved, and that can be that final piece. Oh yeah, you chose a card right at the beginning. I remember now. Bang, and you tell them that. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I remember years ago, you know, Hugo Shelley had the first sort of one that was popular, the Insight one. But this now, it's on steroids. It's the best version of a scanner ever, because it's got not only the short range capabilities, it's got this 3 metre range, 3.5 metres actually, 12 feet, which is incredible. It's also not limited to cards. Remember that NFC tags are relatively inexpensive these days. You can have a set of photographs, for example, of destinations.
Imagine it.
And books. And you know what book they've chosen. If you've got other products in the Illuminati Unify app ecosystem as well, once it's scanned the information, it can then take that bit of information and incorporate it into a bigger reveal. If you've got the scribe printer, for example, you can print out a prediction, predicting everything that's been chosen. You could have a card, a location, you know, an airline ticket, and all these can be different things that are chosen, dropped onto a table. The scribe printer prints it out, and then you switch the piece of paper that's been on the table the entire time, and they read out confabulation, which is just describing every single part of the journey. They're implementing a lot with AI at the moment, so they're the integrations rather with AI and René Nyman's lifelike sketcher. So if you've got things like the inversion board from TCC, you can reveal a drawing that somebody's chosen, but all that can be sent through the Illuminati ecosystem with the Unify app. It really is an incredible piece of technology.
It seriously is,
It's great to see magic companies that are taking something and then investing what I can only imagine is a serious amount of cash to produce something that is the best possible version of something.
It's the best I've seen of anything like this, because it's just, you know, it's been so reliable.
It's not cheap. It's $999, so £850. I'm not sure how Trump tariffs affect that, depending on where you are. But
you had to bring it up.
just the fact that you can do the tossed out deck on steroids, like, it was just so much fun to do in the pub today. The fact that they're
those guys
passing the cards to each other and taking a card out, and then look at it, like, it is ridiculously good just as a tossed out deck. Like, I came up with this on the phone the other day with Charlie Dent, and we were trying to work on what was the right handling, because obviously if you've got the scanner in a certain position, hidden on your body, down here in this case, when you're shuffling the cards, it's scanning. So I was thinking, first of all, maybe I'll start with the scanner in my top pocket, I'll have the cards behind my back, and then I'll give them the cards to shuffle, then I'll take the deck back off them and turn round and face them. But actually that's difficult. It's difficult to perform because you're turning your back to the audience and the spectators too many times. But then myself and Charlie worked it out. We were workshopping the whole thing for about an hour, and Charlie is great, as he's like in charge of the online support, and he gets back to you in no time on WhatsApp if you've got any issues with any Illuminati products. But we worked out the fact that if you've got the whole deck together, and then you clearly give them the instructions to flick through and only remove one. Go on, do it again, it's so good. When they then, you're looking away naturally, they take out one card, and when they take out that one card, you are able to tell them that card, the 5 of spades. It's ridiculous. And like I said, we've got it in low power mode at the moment, or medium. It's not even in high power. But look at the video. We were doing it literally a couple of meters away from the guys, and it was ridiculously effective.
Yeah.
Like the moment the card came out of the deck, I just knew what it was.
So Dave was telling me about it, you know, a while ago over the phone, and I was saying that, well, it can't be that far away from it. And he just started laughing and said, "Come round and have a look at this." It is phenomenal. You know, it's to think that you are that far away from them and getting a reading.
You know what card
It's
they've
crazy.
taken out of the
Yeah,
deck.
crazy. Really durable cards as well.
Yeah.
Not worried about them getting damaged or anything. It's
I know
great.
what some people will say. Some people will say that you can do it with sleight of hand, but that's true, or a gimmick deck. I like the fact that you can dispel all those possible solutions during the tossed out deck.
You can.
You can give them the cards to shuffle. They can look. They can see each card's different.
It's make sure I'm not doing any clever sleight of hand. We'll put a band around the cards and you can hold them. I'm going to stand over here.
You actually turn away. You turn away completely, and then there's a reason for everything, for your peak. But the fact, it's a 6. I used to do the tossed out deck with Wayne Dobson's structure, with his pattern, getting them all to sit down one at a time, getting more and more reaction each time. And it is just incredible, the tossed out deck as an effect, because it is direct mind reading. But there's none of the hoy fishing. You are literally telling them, you're thinking of that, you're thinking of that, you're thinking of that card. And you can, you know, have a bit of a struggle on the last one and then do a bit more of a reading and then name it to create that dramatic tension before that final reveal. You can't do that when you're using the hoy principle, because you have to say each card, all the 3 cards together. I think this is fantastic. This is a very easy 100% for me. It's one of the things that I picked up from Blackpool. It's the best scanner of its kind. And the fact that it belongs in the Illuminati ecosystem with the Unify app, and you can send that information onto other apps, other parts of the ecosystem, just makes it priceless. It's unbelievable.
It's, if you know, I'm going to say it, I think it's flawless. I actually think it's
as a gimmick,
flawless.
it's a tool, isn't it? Remember,
It is a
we
tool,
should say that it's a tool. It's not a routine.
To enable you to do something spectacular with, you know, not just was that the card you chose? Oh, great, okay. No, do something more than that. Entwine it into a story, and I have to give it 100% as well, because I can actually see me getting one of these and performing it. I really can.
I'm actually thinking about your card at any number routine, which is a miracle anyway.
Thank you.
But if you don't even know the card and nobody knows the card, then you've actually got a second reveal.
You have. Mate, you just give me another idea. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, congratulations. Look, it's an investment, but you're going to see these guys at conventions. You're going to see them at FISM. Go up, see it for yourself. Just look at it for yourself. Don't buy anything on our say-so. Go and see it. Go and see how accurate and fast the notifications are.
I'm just blown away with the way how quick it all works.
It's literally mind-blowing. It is. We have another Henry Harrius product coming up later. I was the first person to buy it at Blackpool.
You were, mate.
That's coming up very shortly. But first, we're going to talk about Crazy Sam's Paradox Cube. A lot of people talking about this online, thinking, can it replace Michael Murray's solution? Because it's a very similar effect. And I've consulted for a couple of acts that have used Michael Murray's solution in their act. Maddox Dixon used it on television.
He did.
With Amanda Holden, which was a great effect, created a fantastic moment of TV magic. But this is a very different effect that you can incorporate into your existing Rubik Cube routine. The effect is that you get the spectator to mix the cube within their own hands, but it's covered with a handkerchief, which is supplied. And when you take the handkerchief off, they are very much expecting it to be mixed, but it's not. It's still fully solved.
You really
Is this going to fool anybody, Wayne?
I think it might. It fooled me.
Twice.
Yeah, I know. So we were in your place, over at your place, standing there in the kitchen, and yeah, he did it to me, and it felt very free. So I was mixing the cube up.
And you are mixing it. You are turning it.
Yeah, and and when you just pulled this handkerchief away. There's the cube, still solved. And then you did it again.
Yeah, you said, do it again.
Yeah, and I still couldn't get it, and you had to tell me.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it. So I really did slap my forehead when you showed me. Like, God, no, that is great.
I showed Tony Antonio, who's the chair of the Magic Circle Council. He couldn't work it out. I showed every single person I've shown it to has been fooled by it. I've only actually done it on one layman ever, because I've enjoyed showing it to magicians more. And that was the guy in the bar today.
It was today, yeah.
But it worked perfectly.
It does.
It does work really well. Now, Sam's got some great sort of alternative handlings that mean that you can switch in the gimmicks, switch out the gimmicks, because there is a gimmick. It's not really anything that's going to get caught by spectators.
No way.
But there is a gimmick involved. And he's got some great choreography that means that they can almost be doing the solution twice. Like, put one cube behind their back, they mix it, and it's solved. And then put another cube behind their back, and it's mixed, and it's solved. And he's switching in and out the cubes, and at the end he's got a lovely sort of move that he describes. So there's more to it than the actual, just the solving trick.
Yeah, I agree.
Where you take the cube off them at the end, then you immediately hand it to them. There's some beautiful choreography that I know if it's by Crazy Sam, you're probably thinking, all right, this is probably a bit way beyond me, the level of sleight of hand that guy is. But actually, anybody can learn this. It's
seriously, honestly, you know, I don't like it when people are scared of sleight of hand, because you know I love it. I love sleight of hand. Yeah. But it is, I love technical stuff like that. So when something does come up and you look at it easy, I am looking at. I've got my sleight of hand head on. I'm thinking, if I was doing that, I'd do it this, and I'd be doing all kinds of stuff, and I'd be holding it there and using misdirection. No. This was just doing it on its own. Very well structured routine. Very well structured.
The only issue I've got with it, the presentation, and you identified it as well, when you're doing it on a spectator, they do find it difficult, and I did worry about actually performing it on a spectator, because they do have to follow the direction in the scripting, and if they deviate from that and do their own thing, they will mess it up. So you need to make sure that you're giving clear direction. At the same time as that, the bandana that supplies, that's just a normal bandana, that has to be completely covering the cube. And
I suggested he should have a bag.
It does move around a bit.
It falls off just like that. And I think if you can find some kind of a nice silk bag or something, a crushed velvet bag that hangs heavy, that can sit on their wrist like that, and they do it underneath there, that would be better than this, because that does fall off.
It is nice though when they do this and they reveal the cube that's not mixed. That is unbelievable. I just am I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried about performing it in the situation, because I normally perform my cube routine. I normally perform it in a situation where lots of people are watching, and I would be a bit concerned about the spectator, and it's not their fault really, making, not following exactly what I'm telling them to do, and messing, because if they make one turn wrong, they go, oh, because I've done Venom Cube for years, and sometimes you say, okay, mix it 3 times, and they just do whatever they want.
Listen, mate, I was doing my show last night, and I asked someone just to name any single card they wanted, and they said the Jack of Queens. So some people don't. Direction to it.
They don't follow things sometimes, and that's the only thing that makes me worry about including it in a very important piece of magic. I just want to be honest there. But if you think that you can direct them, you can tell them how to mix the cube each time, and there's nothing really that difficult, but they could mess it up, and you don't know if they've messed it up. That's the worst thing. The thing with a solution, which is brilliant, if they've messed it up, you can have an out, but you know you're going for the out. You're not going for the da-da, it's solved. You'll immediately know if something's gone wrong, or if they're following the direction carefully. And if you use the solution, you'll know what I mean. I do think this is brilliant, all the same, as is everything that Henry puts out. I just don't think I'm going to use it. I'm not going to take the risk with it, but I do think it's fantastic. I'm going to give it 85%.
Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've never done any Rubik's Cube magic. I can't even do a Rubik's Cube. But it's the same kind of thing. There's no taking away from it. It's a very, very clever piece of magic.
You saw the reaction today from the guy.
Exactly.
He couldn't believe
that.
it.
Yeah, it is, mate. And I'm gonna be giving it 85% as well. I think it's very, very good.
Yeah, still a great product. You just need to be careful with your direction and make sure that the person that you're using is fully compos mentis. This is Jumbo 52 B-Wave 2.0 from Vernet Magic, or Vernet, I'm never sure. Vernet, I think.
Vernet, I think, isn't it?
The deck of cards is introduced as your prediction. That goes there. Wayne, you're going to make all the decisions.
For the first time in my life.
You say red or black. You say red or black.
Red.
Literally, whatever you say, we're going to use.
All right.
So that's red. That's hearts or diamonds. You choose hearts or diamonds.
Diamonds.
Diamonds. These are all free decisions. It's very fair, right?
It is very fair.
Now choose any value, ace through to king.
7.
7. This deck has been here the entire time. In fact, you could have been holding on to this deck. Inside the box, there's nothing else inside there. There's a full deck of cards. Let me just see. It is hard to handle, but I'm going to spread through these cards.
Yeah.
Let me spread them out here. Can you see?
Stop it.
Just there, the 7 of diamonds
Get out of it,
is
mate.
the only card.
It's the only card.
That is literally the only card which is face up. Amazing. The thing is as well, if I take this out, you see,
Oh, mate.
it's the only one with a red back.
He's done us.
It is literally the only red back
done
card
us.
in the entire blue backed deck. But do
Yeah.
you know the really crazy thing?
What
Wayne?
else you got for us?
There are no other cards. The entire
Brilliant.
deck is completely blank. There are no other cards. So that is the Jumbo 52 B-Wave. What do you reckon?
You got me, mate. You got me.
It's all right, isn't it? It's all
yeah,
right.
yeah, it's
what
all right.
I will say, I'll just be honest, when it's brand new, it's a little bit hard to handle because that was probably a little bit rough for you, if you know what I'm saying. And it's hard to get that card out of the deck.
I think what you've got to do is just, sit down one evening and just give them a few wobbles and mix them up a little bit, just to break them in a bit.
What you've got here, you've got nice, good quality.
They are,
sort
yeah.
of plasticky coated
They are sort of,
cards,
yeah.
aren't they? Nice, good quality. What I like about it is with the routine, it seems like a completely free choice.
Yeah.
If you like the trick, there's not too many surprises here. The equipment's great. You just might need to work it in a bit,
Yeah.
in the same way that you need to work in an invisible deck.
Exactly that.
You've got to do that same thing so it starts behaving
Yeah.
a bit nicer. Probably after a couple of hours of just fiddling and just practicing with it.
yeah.
But I love the fact that you can choose freely, apparently.
Yeah.
It works really well, it flows, and it is unbelievable. And it's a jumbo deck, so it'll play big in any
You can put
situation.
up in a parlour show, or even on stage as well.
It's not
the
my
cabaret.
sort of thing. I'm not going to use it, but it is a great piece of equipment. I'm going to give this 87%.
Yes, mate. I think it's a great little thing to do. I can see a lot of people doing it. Open up their little cabaret act or a parlour show with a very hard-hitting piece of magic. I think it's great, mate. I'm going to give it 89%.
And it is the new jumbo sized, and it is the improved method, specially printed and manufactured jumbo deck. You get the video downloads, 25 minutes, 3 strong climaxes, there's no doubting that, and it is an instant reset.
It is.
As soon as you shove the card back in, you're ready to go again. Optics Pro. There you go, 100%.
Wow.
Not the full routine, but we'll talk about the full routine. Look, we both bought the original Optics,
We did, mate.
didn't we?
We did,
when
yeah.
Tobias brought it out with Illusionist,
Yeah.
we both agreed that it was hard to handle. I tried to replicate what actually Optics Pro has become.
Yeah.
When I heard that Optics Pro was coming out and I found out what it was and what the gimmick was and how easy it was going to be to use, I was the first person to
were.
buy Optics Pro in the world. obviously Henry's distributed it to his friends and Tobias and people like that. But the day he went on sale at Blackpool, we were on the dealer side. I went, there he is. I ran down. I still had Hong Kong dollars on me from my trip to Hong Kong. I literally ran down. He was carrying the box, and I threw the money on the table. And it was my first purchase of Blackpool Optics Pro. You're familiar with the effect. I know you are. The effect is that you apparently borrow the phone off the spectator. You ask them if they'd mind while you video on their phone. Then you say, actually, while I'm videoing you on your phone, can you take a video on my phone? And they video you making their own phone disappear.
Disappear, mate.
And then you've got this moment, this lovely moment, where eventually they discover that they are holding their own phone, and they've been holding it the entire time. Now, I'm just going to look on my phone in the Instagram messages. Chris Gowan, thanks to Chris Gowan, because he gave me some good feedback actually about the technique. And he actually took the time to send me a really nice message on Instagram and say, I've seen you doing it, because you were at the Northamptonshire Magicians Club dinner.
I was.
That was brilliant. We had Jay and Joss, and we had Mark Spellman doing his cabaret show at the end. It was 2 standing ovations in one night. It was a fantastic night. But I performed Optics Pro probably 3 times that night. You videoed me doing it. I filmed you doing it, And Chris saw what I was doing, and he gave me some really good tips about where to position the gimmick and extra ways to sort of tap your pocket and then take the phone out. Some really good tips. So thank you for that, Chris. But the reactions every single time I've done it have been incredible, like off the charts. You used it to open up your show last night.
I did. I opened my show with it last night, and it's such... you know what? You want your first thing to go off with a bang if you're opening up a brand new show like I was. I needed a big star reaction, and boy, mate, did I get it.
It's amazing. It's so strong. It's so personable.
Yeah.
And I think when their phone vanishes, look, everybody's lost their phone. That's what's going through the spectator's mind. When you can't find your phone, and that time, think back to that time when you legitimately did not know where your phone was. You knew that you had it, and then it's not there, especially if you're out in a public place. They are going through that level of anxiety at the moment, and then they realise
they're actually holding it.
Then you take them up when they're holding it. Now, I was talking to Tom Wright about this, and we were kind of workshopping it in the same way that, Bob Pound the other night, he talked about collaboration. And you always have a group of people that you talk to about effects and how you're doing that. And there's Sean, and I'll ring Tom while he's on a ship. And Tom was saying he'd done it, and then they looked back at the video and they went, oh, it must have been my phone the entire time. And I thought about this, and I thought, I'm going to try this. And what I've started doing, as you'll see in the video and today, is covering their phone up.
That is such a good idea.
It's doing nothing, but it's like Luke Jamay called it the witch doctor theory in his first book. Like, you're going to all this trouble, so it must be to do with something. Something must be happening. And the fact that you cover up their phone, then if they review the video, then it's going to go black, and then you're going to reveal it. And in the moment, they're going to forget, did it change in that moment? But they know that you did something in that moment. I know Henry and Tobias both messaged me and went, that's a really good idea, actually covering the phone to reveal it.
Well, that was the first time I saw you do it, was at Northampton, I think, wasn't it? Because I didn't know what you was doing. I went, I've not seen this before. And the reaction from that, and it did add flavour to it, add a reason to, where is it? Well, it's bang, there. It was a dinner napkin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Took the dinner napkin down, and they're holding their phone, and then they can watch the video.
You can see the guy on the footage literally, because you panned across to him, he just collapses in his chair and he's holding his head. Like if you ask somebody to do mind-blown body language, it was exactly that. He was going...
And let's face it, that's why
"What?"
we're doing it. We want those reactions. We want that massive gasp, that shriek, like what we got in the 52 to 1 deck that
Yeah.
time. You want that huge gasp every time you do something. And that has got it. I've been performing it. That was the first time at my show last night, but I've been performing it otherwise to other people. And every time, every single time, it knocks them for six, mate.
You're doing an illusion in close-up.
It's, yeah.
With lights, and it's getting everybody's attention because suddenly you're pointing a phone at a whole table or a whole group, so they all, you know what it's like. If you hold a phone anyway and point a phone at people with the light on, immediately everybody starts checking themselves and starts paying attention. So I think it's the perfect thing to get people's attention at the start of the table set and get them engaged with what you are doing. Do you mind if I take a video? Then they're watching you, and then you're saying, actually, do you mind videoing this on my phone? And then the illusion happens, the vanish happens, and then you're reproducing it. It's absolutely incredible. I know Henry gets the same comments all the time, and Tobias gets the same questions. Yeah, but what if they've got a bright coloured phone case? I did this the other day when we were filming some clips for social media in the tattoo shop where we do some filming. This girl had, it couldn't have been a more feminine phone case. It was bright pink and it had sparkles on it. And even though it was all glittery and bright pink around the edge of the phone, she did not realise. And I was thinking, oh, she's going to clock this, but I'll try and do it.
I've got to say this, right? When you switch that torch on, when you switch that light on their phone, it is blinding. And you're right. People are very aware that you're now filming, and there's kind of, I'm in shot. Oh my God. They're not worried about it. So when you do give them that, honestly, I think you could give them a side of beef and they wouldn't notice it. It's crazy.
Again, I've done it professionally. We did it at the dinner where you filmed me doing it. We tried it out again at the restaurant today. The guy had no idea. And that was in full light. You could see his reaction. This guy's not faking it. We'll put his reaction on the screen. The reactions are unbelievable. You're doing an illusion with literally everybody's most prized possession.
It is. Everything's on it.
It's their most important object that they carry. Forget doing a trick with a borrowed 20 now. You're doing something with a thing that's worth $1,000.
I'll tell you something what you just hit on when you said illusion. This is the first time, and I don't perform illusions, big grand illusions, but this feels like I'm performing a grand illusion.
Yeah.
Stuff that you've done, grand illusion. It feels like a grand illusion when it's gone poof, and it's vanished out of here, and then you're pointing at there. You're filming me on it.
It's incredible. It really is an unbelievable piece of magic.
I know what we're giving this.
It can't be anything less. It's, again, a very, very easy 100%. I threw my money down. The only regret I've got is I wish I'd bought 2 of them, because you need to always make sure you've got it on you.
I've done that. I've got a few of my, props that I know that I'm going to use it a lot, and that I have. I almost bought a third one if I have something, but I've brought 2 of everything, so I understand what you mean, and it's an easiest 100% I've ever given on the show.
It's not a lot of money as well. When he brought it out, and I'd only seen the trailer, I thought this was going to be 150 quid.
Easily.
I think it's like 80 quid or 70 quid, something like that. It could be 200 quid, and I'd be handing my money over.
So would I.
It's a reputation maker. That's it for this week's show. We've had a couple of really, really great effects there. Like I said, reputation makers. I don't know if this is sold out at the moment or it's still available.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I know he was getting some more in. All these dealers will be at FISM. FISM is 97 days from today. It's going to be a great convention. I'm going to be there. Paul Longhurst is going to be there. And then straight after that, we've got Magic Live. I'm going to be at Magic Live. And then Blackpool's just gone on sale again for the next year. Wayne, they've done an extra day.
Look, listen, I'm not
an extra day.
because me and him, right, are on the 3 days we're on the stand. For those 3 days, we haven't even got a chair behind us.
Send Red Bull.
We don't sit. Yeah, honestly, because Red Bull and Mars bars. Because it's like we are.
How are we going to do it?
We set the stand up and we stand on the stand and we dem.
What we're going to have to get is, I'm sure we'll find one on Amazon, like a long foot spa. And nobody realises behind the table.
we're sharing.
But we're just behind the table, stood in this long foot spa.
How cute.
That's the only way I'm going to get through it.
We can sell the water afterwards.
Oh. We'll see you next time on the Wizard Magic Review. You're forgetting.